All righty. Well, we want to thank you guys, all the people joining us today for the call. This is the Greenway Technologies conference call for Thursday, February, I think it's the 8th. We just want to thank you all for taking your time to hear. I know everybody's excited about hearing this, and we have a lot of good things to talk about today. And so with that, I would like to introduce the chairman of the board and president of Greenway Technologies, Inc., Pat Six, who's joining us remotely. Pat, are you there?
I am, Ryan. Thank you very much.
All right. It's all you.
Well, shareholders and interested investors, I want to welcome you to the call. Thank you so much for dialing in. We're going to record this session and post it on the website for those who want to listen to it again or share it possibly with those who were unable to listen to us live today. We know many of you have held stock for a very long time and have been extremely patient with us as we've designed and developed the Greenway GTL system. We are very pleased to report that since our last call, strong progress has been made, and our team is very optimistic. We've proven our design, and over the past months have made improvements in the GTL process, which has made the system much more efficient than it was even at the time of the ribbon cutting in June at the Greer Lab at the University of Texas at Arlington. Even more importantly today, we've taken the many improvements made in the system in the Greer Lab and incorporated them in our soon-to-be completed production G-Reformer. Now, this will translate to greater efficiency and value to those who deploy our plants. And we'll speak about that more about later. But the overall status of the company is strong. We continue to work with a number of potential customers to fund the first and subsequent GTL plants. Progress has been made in improving our understanding of the expected economics of a production GTL plant. Our findings now show that our smallest GTL plant will be quite profitable even when using pipeline gas or paying commercial prices for the gas. A comprehensive presentation has been developed which is provided under non-disclosure to qualified interested parties or investors. This presentation includes details about the large potential market for GTL, the capital requirements, operating parameters, and plant financial returns. The company raised the capital to build its first production G-Reformer without accumulating any additional debt. These costs are expected to be recovered when the first plant is deployed. Our goal for this plant is to roll out in 9 to 12 months. Greenway has been taped and interviewed in an 8-part series that is soon to be produced on the Fox Business Channel on a program called New to the Street. Our hope is to increase awareness of Greenway and to attract prospective customers. Details of the schedule of this series will be announced in the near future. I can tell you that I've just found out that the first program will air Sunday afternoon, February 25th at 1:30 p.m. on the Fox Business Channel. As you all are aware, or most of you are aware, our name change is now complete. and we have been fully authorized by FINRA for the name change to Greenway Technologies, Inc. And our symbol has changed to GWTI from the previous UMED, UMED. The name was changed to better reflect the mission of the company. For stock pricing, look at GWTI as our symbol. If you currently hold, and many people have asked this question, if you currently hold UMED shares, those shares and that certificate will now automatically be transferred over seamlessly to GWTI or Greenway Technologies, Inc. There is no action required to you to convert these shares. No replacement certificates will be needed or will be sent to you. If you buy new stock, you will receive a certificate entitled GWTI with our logo on the share certificate saying Greenway Technologies, Inc. We also want you to know that we're providing assistance for all shareholders of restricted stock who wish to engage in stock transactions. Instructional documents are on our website, GWTechinc.com. You can email our company for more info or questions also at ir@GWTechinc.com. Or you can call the company at 817-346-6900. And with that, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the president of Greenway Innovative Energy, which is our GTL arm of Greenway Technologies, Inc., Mr. Ray Wright. Ray, welcome today. Thank you for being with us. And I invite you to now talk about what we're doing in Greenway Innovative.
Well, thank you, Pat. I really appreciate your commentary and giving us an update from the chairman point of view and president of Greenway Tech. It's a very exciting time for us, and I just want to thank all the shareholders and the support that we have received from you. The encouragement has been very well noted, and we certainly appreciate your participation and help in making us achieve this large contribution to what we think it will be a game changer, not only in the United States, but the potential worldwide. And you notice, and I hope you are, following our press releases that come out periodically, whenever we feel that there's a major material change in our process or in our company goals and objectives that are important to release to the public, then we put out a press release. And this last Tuesday, we were very happy to announce the full-time engagement of our company that we've been working with for about 3 years now, Audubon Companies. They're a major engineering and procurement and construction EPC company, which means they are qualified to guarantee the work that has been accomplished once the construction is completed. David Beck, who is one of the managing partners and a board director, one of the original people that came together with Audubon, has been working with us for about 3 years now and helped us in a lot of ways, doing a lot of our financial analysis as we moved along through the process to develop this unique technology. And as Pat already mentioned, our G Reformer is a unique reforming process. It is the first of its kind on the ground anywhere in the world, and it is mobile and easy to move to the location. Audubon has a very big degree in oil and gas activities, and they are very familiar with gas to liquid, which makes them a very qualified company to work with us. And they will assist us, even though we have already located manufacturing facilities right here in Fort Worth to build our G reformer. And they have recommended catalyst companies and also the tube and shell company to build our Fischer-Tropsch side. They will be the ones to work with our people internally here, and I'll be announcing Tom Phillips, who is the operations manager now for Greenway Innovative Energy, and the individual is going to be responsible for putting the commercial unit on the ground and making sure it works. So they are going to help us with the final plant design, site preparation, construction, bringing the tanks in, any road work that needs to be done, and the final hookup of all the equipment that is actually delivered to the site in a portable configuration. I think you all are aware of the excitement that in this country, over 50% of the natural gas that's been actually drilled is stranded gas, which means that it has no vehicle to take to market because the anticipated pipelines to deliver that gas never materialized. In addition, it gives the owners the opportunity to monetize those assets for the first time. Right now, there's serious problems with flared gas, vented gas, wasted gas, and unused natural gas, which is a tremendous resource that the United States has now and leads the world in the actual production of natural gas. It should also be known that the fuel from our GTL process is extremely environmental friendly, and I think we've talked about that before, but just as a reminder, it is much more friendly in terms of environmental emissions that the petroleum-based diesel that we primarily have. Diesel fuel from Greenway process contains no heavy metals, and as we say, no NOx and no SOx. Means that you got very few particular matters within the mixture. And remember, we don't make waxes in our process. We go straight to pure synfuel, which is the purest configuration of diesel that you can manufacture no matter what. Our blend stock fuel will be blended with inferior grade diesel. It's a great blend stock. When you're drilling for oil and you have what we call sweet oil, it's a premium with the refineries because they take that sweet oil and they blend it with inferior oil to bring it up to a certain spec. The same thing with our stock fuel. We'll be blending it with inferior grade diesel. And remember, diesel normally runs 42 to 40 cetane, which is a symbol for diesel, just like in gasoline, we talk about octane, which means if you have a 42 or 44, and we have, out of our process, an 80 to an 82 cetane level, you can imagine that's almost double the standard quality of our produced petroleum-based diesel. In recent presentations, we've been emphasizing to some of our potential investors, these are buyers of the units, and they have received our material with considerable enthusiasm, particularly when we introduced the fact that we're not only producing a quality diesel and jet fuel, but on top of that, we're able to generate potable water and electricity. That electricity will not only cover the needs of our plant operation, but we'll be able to sell that into the grid as another income stream, and the same way with the water. We will produce a lot of water because you're going to have a hydrogen-based situation, and you're always going to have some water to be generated, and we can take that, and it'll be very potable water. So if you think of an arid area, whether it's West Texas or someplace in the world that has natural gas but no resources around it, we can literally build a functional community with our fuel, our water, and electricity. Think about that and let that sink in. That is a game changer in our modern civilization of what we can actually produce and deliver to the market is a standalone unit in a gas-producing area that can actually generate an environment all around it, including all the other elements that would bring economy to the market. With that, there's much more we could be said, but I do want to turn it over to our operation manager. He's a VP of operations for Greenway Innovative Energy, Mr. Tom Phillips. He's a qualified engineer with stock market involvement as well, and he's a graduate of Texas A&M. And so with that, I'd like to turn it over to the VP of operations, Mr. Tom Phillips.
Thank you, Ray. I want to say a little bit about the G-Reformer, but before I do, I'd like to express my personal thanks to the leadership of Ray and Pat, without whom this technology would not be coming to life. The sacrifices they've made, along with all the shareholders who've been with us a long time, it's frankly amazing that we are here and we are on the brink of bringing this thing to life. About the G-Reformer, we are very excited to be nearing the completion of the fabrication of the first commercial G-Reformer. Now, if you remember, the G-Reformer is kind of the front end of the gas to liquids plant that converts natural gas to synthetic fuel. But in this case, the G-Reformer creates synthesis gas that will feed our Fischer-Tropsch system. It definitely facilitates the economic conversion of natural gas to synthesis gas, in that we can create very specific synthesis gas more cost effectively than any other method. In fact, we've formed a new method of generating synthesis gas called fractional thermal oxidation. The G-Reformer by Greenway allows for a quantum leap forward in GTL technology, and it is the primary element of our first GTL plant. The components of the G-Reformer, as Ray mentioned, will fit on the back of a standard tractor trailer or a shipping container to allow for the deployment wherever we need it over the current infrastructure of roads, or by ship, or however we need to deploy it. It was designed specifically that way for that purpose. I cannot express on behalf of everyone involved, and there are a lot of people working very hard, but we are all so excited to be at the very edge of commercializing this technology. And as Pat rightly said, this thing is a industry game changer. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Pat.
As shareholders, we hope that you're now better aware of why we are more excited than ever about the future of Greenway Innovative Energy and Greenway Technologies, Inc., and our continued progress toward commercialization of our first GTL system. Please be on the lookout for future announcements and press releases. And again, I want to thank every one of you. And now we want to open the floor to questions to all of our team.
Our first question is, when will the G-Reformer and GTL system be ready for the field?
So literally, we will have the G-Reformer ready to deploy in March of this year. And very closely behind that, we will have our FT system. We anticipate it'll take approximately 9 months from start to finish to construct the GTL plant, and that includes site preparation and all of the elements that go into that.
Okay. Another question. Have you determined a price for the units?
So on that note, on the commercials, we are planning to license that technology, being that it is so unique. We have come up with pricing for the project as it relates to that, but that will depend on the contractual details with the first plant funder.
Okay. Has the company had interest from overseas buyers?
As a matter of fact, we have. We received an email from someone in China, and we received a presentation from someone who wants to deploy these in Indonesia. So there are some discussions going on, and we want to get one on the ground, preferably in the U.S., before we go outside.
Tom, I might add that as many of you know in the press release, we made a presentation to the East African Chamber of Commerce in October of 2017, and we have extreme interest in the Southern Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda from officials in those countries. However, as Tom said, we would like to establish domestically before we move to international.
Okay. Another question, how many customers do you have, and what do you estimate sales volumes and profits to be?
We are talking to literally a couple of dozen entities, some who followed us for a long time, who are interested. I can tell you that some of those deals are multi-plant orders. So it's hard to say exactly how many customers. We kind of think it in terms of plants. We believe that once we get the first GTL plant contracted, that we will hopefully be able to contract several more in fairly short order, certainly in 2018, and begin to build that backlog of plants.
Okay. All right. We'll take a few more questions. Ray, are you still there? Because this question is for you.
Yes, okay.
Can you describe the long-term global impact of this technology?
Well, yes. Obviously, the United States currently is leading the world in terms of natural gas production. But the same conditions exist in other parts of the world where they have drilled for natural gas and have a plethora of it. But unfortunately, they have no infrastructure around those areas, and particularly in Africa, Indonesia, and some of those areas that we've talked to already. In these foreign countries, they have the natural gas, but they don't have electricity, don't have water, they don't have any infrastructure to be able to support any activity in those areas. In some parts of the United States, there's no difference. There was a lot of anticipated natural gas pipelines that were promised to be delivered to certain areas. But as we all know, over the last so many years, there's been a real push to shut down a lot of the energy productions areas, and it's only now being opened up again. Consequently, even that, pipelines are extremely expensive, and it's much more profitable to the people that have drilled wells and either have to flare, which of course is breaking environmental laws, and they're having to work under extreme conditions and some penalties, or they just can't get their gas to the market. With our units being able to be deployed to an area, we can move into any area regardless of the conditions, and we will be able to function because we will be self-sufficient in the sense that we can create our own electricity, our own water, and, of course, our own fuel. And that would cause us to be able to build an entire infrastructure around our area. So from a global impact, we've had outside experts who have said this is not only a game changer for the United States, this is a world-changing technology. And so we're very excited about the potential, and we've taken it upon ourselves, as Tom mentioned, moving forward to build the first real reforming system that is portable and economical in its nature that will fit into the whole gas-to-liquid configuration.
If I could, Ray, I'd like to add a couple of things. An excellent answer to the question. In the United States, most people do not realize that 50 to 60% of all natural gas in the lower 48 states in the United States of America is stranded, which means the gas cannot get to market. Our GTL system, to that gas, to that stranded gas. Sharif Suki, who is known as the guru of natural gas, on Mad Money with Jim. What's Jim's last name? Kramer. Jim Kramer's show, Mad Money. Sharif Suki said that in the United States, over the next few years, we need to spend $150 billion. That's with a B, gentlemen and ladies. $150 billion to create the infrastructure to get natural gas to the market. With our system, we can take natural gas to the market now.
Thank you, Pat. We have one last question, and we'll go ahead and end this call. Tom, go ahead with that question.
So the question was, how does this technology affect the job landscape? And the fact of the matter is that this technology will create quite a few jobs, both from a manufacturing standpoint as well as on an operational basis. This technology has the ability to transform communities. If you think about how devastated, for example, coal mine country is in the United States, we have the chance to bring those communities back to maybe not where they were before, but certainly a lot better than they are now. And if you want to know more about that, there are plenty of YouTube videos showing coal bed methane just escaping the ground and devastating the trees and plants around them. But the infrastructure there was all set up, and it's really the perfect environment for one of these plants. So I'll finish this off by saying this technology will help to create a lot of jobs, not only in the U.S., but globally.
All right. Thank you guys for your time today, and stay tuned. If you want to see this recording, you can go to GWTechInc.com, go to the news section. You'll find all the latest news with whether that's news releases or any kind of writings in the media, that type of thing, and this conference call there. And you're always feel free to call us with any questions that you have. We'd love to answer those. And again, thank you guys for your time and your investment in our company. And we look forward to going into the future with you guys.